Hey everybody, hey everybody. Welcome to the ASAP Rocky trial preview. This time tomorrow, we will be done with opening statements in probably at least one witness, maybe two. Opening statements are tomorrow morning at 10:30. I'm going to be streaming on this channel. There's going to be a few streams up, but I should be able to stream every day and do the clips like I did with the YSL trial. Feeling good about the jury. I had a post about one of the ladies on the jury is a firearms instructor. I have to look at my notes to see what her occupation was, but I remember she came from a family of lawyers. Her dad was a pretty prominent criminal defense attorney, and she's a firearms instructor. So I remember I talked with another attorney. I'm like, do you want a firearms instructor on here or do you not? And I guess it just kind of depends on like what exactly your defense is. Because remember, his defense here is that he had a starter pistol on him. Rocky is accused of shooting at a friend in November 2021 on a street in Hollywood. And there's video of him with what appears to be a gun, holding a gun. And then he's kind of pushing with Relly. And then the actual crime that supposedly constitutes the first assault charge is a little bit off camera, because it's when he supposedly points the weapon at him, brandishes it, points it at him. And then the second assault charge is for the shooting that happened a few minutes later when Relly actually chased after Rocky. And then I should clarify that the last live I did, when we first found out this defense in court, it was unclear. It's like, are they going to say that he fired shots or that he didn't fire shots? Of course, you can't actually fire bullets with a starter gun, but are they going to say that he fired the gun at all? And yes, they are going to say that he fired the starter pistol as like a warning. So it does get a little murky, because somebody pointed out in a YouTube comment that firing a starter pistol at somebody is still assault. Pointing a starter pistol at somebody, that's still assault. And then firing it, if you're firing it at somebody, that's still assault. But they're saying here that it was all done in self-defense, that he had this starter pistol on him, but Relly was the aggressor, and he never pointed it at him. And that when he did fire it later on, he wasn't firing it at him. He was like firing it in the air as a warning. So given all that, it could, that's the defense. But it's important to remember that Rocky does have a concealed weapons permit, and he did have firearms and guns in the house when police searched it in April 2022. They searched the house he shares with Rihanna. But there's going to be witnesses who talk about, defense witnesses who talk about some of the security measures that he takes, why he keeps guns in his home, and then why he carries a starter pistol with him. It's like a prop gun. A starter pistol is like something you would use to start a race with. Like, it does the bang but doesn't fire weapons or fire bullets. So yeah, it kind of just comes down to that. Is the jury going to believe that ASAP Rocky, who has a concealed weapons permit and owns many firearms, initiated this, hey, let's meet up on this street corner with Relly, but went armed with a prop gun and not a real gun? So yeah, so it's a starter gun is basically a fake gun with no bullets. But like some people in the comments pointed out, pointing a starter gun at somebody is still assault, and firing a starter gun at somebody is still assault. But his defense here is that he didn't point it at him and he didn't fire it at him. But they are going to say Joe Tacopina's defense is going to be that he did fire it later on. He just didn't fire it at him. So, and they're saying that's why there were no shell casings to pick up, because there were no bullets fired. And Relly knew that, but he wants to like make it look like he was actually shot. So they're saying that he injured his knuckles himself and then went and retrieved got these shell casings somehow, got some spent shell casings to give to police to say that Rocky was shooting at him. So I don't know. We're gonna see it all play out starting tomorrow at 10:30. The jury on this is we've got an elementary school principal. They went. I've got to go through them all. Somebody says it's an all white. Ask if it's an all white jury. No, not quite. It's like 7 women, 5 men. I think 8 white, 2 Asian, 2 Hispanic. One of the white people could be Hispanic, or one of the Hispanic people could be white. I couldn't quite see him well from where I am, but that's the that's the breakdown I got. They seated 4 alternates too. One is a retired admin law judge from Minnesota, and the prosecutors got rid of a digital creator who said that she knew who Rocky was really well. They said, do you know who? Prosecutor said, do you know who ASAP Rocky is? And she said, very, very much so was her answer. But it finally got the jury seated about 4 p.m. and it's going to be on tomorrow. Let me play some videos of him going in. I'm frankly, guys, a little wiped out from the day, so I'm not sure how much I can do here. And I do encourage everyone to subscribe to my Substack, because I'm going to be putting together an article on everything. I'll probably send something out tomorrow in the morning saying, hey, here's how you can follow the trial, and then I'll do a roundup of closings or of openings with all the videos and everything. But if you go to legalaffairsandtrials.com, you can subscribe to my Substack here. Paid subscriptions make my work possible, but I think that's kind of, especially with the video, everybody can watch it online, but I want to kind of give everybody a way to sum everything up. Oops. Yeah, 12,000 views on that Rocky story. But, pretty good for a Substack. But yes, so the jury, and now that all the other jurors are out, because the courtroom's so crowded, it was a little hard to see everybody. Once everybody's seated tomorrow, I'll get better descriptions of some. There's a young woman who has like blue hair on there. Trials in California. It's in Los Angeles. So the jury has to be present for 14 days unpaid. They're paid $15 a day, but they said the trial would be, I guess, estimated at 10 to 12 days. I wouldn't be surprised if it's shorter than that. But let's see here. Rocky, how's it going in there? You worried about a firearms instructor hearing your prop gun defense? He does have like probably the nicest braids I've ever seen. His braids are so like. Joe, where are you going for lunch? Joe always talks to me. He's hilarious, but I mean, somebody like I said, the starter gun defense is going to be interesting to see play out, because it still could be like, if jurors believe that he had a starter gun, but he did point it at him and he did fire it at him, he could still be convicted, because that's still first degree assault. So. But it just, it's all just going to depend on how the witnesses come in. And here's him going on. Rocky, how's it going in there? Like, you worried about a firearms instructor hearing your prop gun defense? So that's when they had the firearms. But it was really kind of a question of like, would you want a firearms instructor hearing that? Maybe you do. And they absolutely, the defense could have gotten rid of the firearms instructor. They had enough challenges to do so, but they didn't, because she's not just a firearms instructor. Like I said, her dad's a criminal defense attorney. And then really, like, if you truly believe in your prop gun defense and it's a legitimate, valid defense, then maybe you absolutely do want the firearms instructor on there, because she's going to be able to recognize things in the movement or something. But I guess she's a firearm instructor for pistols, not Glocks, which would be kind of a difference. So the prop gun defense. Yeah. I mean, basically when you see the video, I'd always kind of wondered in the preliminary hearing, like, what is his defense actually? Because the preliminary hearing is not really when the defense puts anything on. So it's kind of fine. They can get away with not having any kind of real defense other than just prove it. I mean, you can get away with that in trial too, but especially in a case like this, when they've got video that pretty clearly shows him with a gun in his hand. I mean, I'll bring up the video here, because it's just hard to see that and say, what are you going to say if this isn't a gun in his hand? You can say that he doesn't point it at him, because this big pipe thing is actually blocking whatever happens if he pulls it out of his waistband. But this is Rocky right here in the sweatshirt, and he and Relly confront each other, and then you see him pushing And there's another ASAP guy who intervenes, which I'm interested to see if we're going to hear from him in trial. One of the ASAP guys who was at the incident is actually going to be a defense witness. It's ASAP 12E, who's going to testify about the prop gun and testify that Relly was the aggressor. So, but here you'll see them come into camera here, like pushing each other. That's Rocky. That's Relly. There's the other guy. There's Relly. There's Rocky. Oh, and see right there. I mean, and you can kind of, they were doing this in the prelim, kind of going. I mean, it's really hard to say that's anything but a gun. I mean, if you're trying to come up with the defense, it's like, okay, you know, you have, I mean, you can't say that's a cell phone. I mean, I guess you could, but it's like, I mean, come on. So, but you know, maybe it really is a prop gun. Like there's nothing in here that indicates it's, you know, I don't know. We'll see. But again, they needed to say something they can't just say he didn't have a gun when there's clearly something in his hand. But what happens here, like right now, there isn't an assault crime, like according to how it's charged, because the actual charge for assault comes when he allegedly pulls the gun around and points it at Relly. And you actually don't see that on camera. I'll fast forward here because see, they move off camera. And so you're not seeing what's happening there. That supposedly, I think Relly will testify. He testified in the prelim that he's ASAP's pointing the gun at him right now. And then keep going. But then you see him turn around and he holsters it. You know, he puts it back in his pants. And then, so that right there, that video is like their best evidence of the first assault charge. There's 2 assault charges, and one is for the brandishing of the gun, and then the other is for the actual shooting. And really, the defense does. I mean, it sounds kind of hokey. It's like, wait a minute, ASAP Rocky can carry guns, but he just carried a prop gun. But it's like, you know what? What if it's true? Because one explanation, and one thing this explains is, and actually the judge in the preliminary hearing noted it, was like, you know, for some unexplainable reason or for some unknown reason, Relly followed Rocky after this. So this happens. I mean, we just saw the video, and yeah, Relly followed him. And it's not that Relly ran away and Rocky chased after him. It's that Relly followed him. So the defense is that the reason Relly wasn't worried and thought that he could follow Rocky is because he knew it was a starter gun or a prop gun. So, yeah. So it could work. Somebody asked if he has to present the prop gun during the trial. He wouldn't have to, but it'll be interesting to see if he does.